Everyone online is talking about making money with Claude right now, and honestly, most of the advice sounds exactly the same. Start an AI agency or sell prompts or automate businesses. It all sounds exciting, yes, but most of it's too vague to actually help anyone to make some money with it. So I want to approach this differently because after looking at what people are actually doing with Claude in 2026, I noticed something interesting. The people who make real money are usually not doing any flashy things. Most of them are solving boring business problems that companies already pay for, and that's where the opportunity is. And the uncomfortable truth is that the more boring the problem sounds, the better it usually pays. Now, before we go deeper, let's actually talk about what Claude actually is. At this point, it's much more than just a chatbot. Between Claude code, integrations, MCP servers, and workflow capabilities, it's becoming more like an AI operating system for businesses. And that changes the game completely because now one person can realistically do work that previously required an entire small team. But this is also where people misunderstand the opportunity. Most beginners think money comes from using AI. It doesn't. Businesses do not care about AI itself. They care about saving time, reducing stress, making more money, or fixing inefficiencies. Claude is just the tool helping you do that faster. One of the most realistic ways people are making money right now is what I'd call AI consulting for stressed business owners. And honestly, this works because most small businesses are overwhelmed. Every week they hear about AI replacing jobs, automating companies, changing industries, and they feel like they're falling behind. They know they should probably be doing something with AI, but they have no idea where to start. And that's where the opportunity comes in. You don't need to walk in pretending to be some genius AI engineer. Most of the time, you just need to understand their business better than they understand AI. You spend a couple of hours learning how they operate, where they waste time, where communication breaks down, where repetitive work exists. And then you use Claude to build a roadmap for them. And this could include automating some repetitive admin tasks or improving customer support, organizing internal documentation, or streamlining marketing workflows. The important thing is that you're not really selling AI. You're selling clarity and direction. Business owners, they pay because they want someone to reduce uncertainty for them. And honestly, this is why consulting still pays so well. People think they're paying for information. Usually, they're paying to stop feeling overwhelmed. Now, another area where Claude is becoming incredibly valuable is data cleanup and organization. And this sounds boring, and that's exactly why most people ignore it. But businesses are sitting on massive amounts of messy information. Spreadsheets everywhere, old CRMs, databases nobody understands anymore, customer records spread across 5 different systems. And here's the problem. AI works badly on messy data. Before companies can build AI systems properly, someone has to organize everything underneath first. That work is not glamorous, but it pays extremely well because businesses desperately need it. So you can use Claude Code and modern tools, and you can use it to migrate databases or organize some records, connect some systems, and create searchable AI-powered dashboards. A small business might pay several $1,000s for a project like this because once their data is organized, their entire operation becomes more efficient. And this is something important most creators never talk about. The infrastructure underneath AI is often where the money is. Everyone wants to build shiny AI apps. Almost nobody wants to clean up broken systems. That's exactly why it's valuable. But you can't just make a gig on Fiverr like this, like I will be your Claude code expert. Just do something like this person here. I will help you to do one simple job, and that is to connect Claude Code with your software for AI automation prompts. So yeah, go and look for a problem and structure your gig and your reach out to that. Now, the third big opportunity is probably the most obvious one, replacing small agencies. A few years ago, if a business needed a landing page, if they needed copywriting, email funnels, basic automation, or chatbot setup, and ad creatives, they would need multiple specialists or an agency team. Today, one person using Claude properly can realistically handle a huge part of that process. Now, that doesn't mean Claude magically does everything perfectly. You still need judgment, strategy, and problem-solving skills, but the output speed is dramatically different now. A solo person can now build websites faster, can generate marketing copy, or create customer support systems, and structure campaigns much more efficiently than before. That's why small AI-powered agencies are exploding right now. And honestly, this is one of the clearest opportunities because small businesses hate complexity. They don't want 5 freelancers with 5 different opinions. They want one person who can solve the problem, and that's it. That's why simplicity itself becomes valuable, and people hate losing time. Now, let's talk about custom business tools because this is another area quietly becoming huge. Most businesses still run on spreadsheets, on manual processes, on sticky notes, and outdated software. They know their systems are inefficient, but traditional software development has always been too expensive for them. Now, luckily, Claude changes that equation. Now people are building lightweight internal tools much faster than before. Lead trackers, inventory systems, client dashboards, internal knowledge bases, reporting systems, and the really important part is adding conversational AI on top of those systems. So instead of employees digging through spreadsheets manually, they can just ask questions directly. For example, they could ask which customer haven't paid yet, or what products sold best this month, which leads haven't been contacted recently. That changes how businesses interact with their own data. And this is where MCP integrations become important because they let Claude connect deeply into business systems instead of existing as a separate chatbot disconnected from the actual workflows. Now, here's the thing most people don't realize yet. A lot of traditional agencies and developers, of course, are still behind on this shift. Many businesses still don't even understand what's possible. And that creates a window of opportunity right now for people willing to learn these systems early. But I also want to be honest about something. None of this is passive income, at least not in the beginning. The first stage is still service work. You're solving problems directly for clients. And that means communication, revisions, meetings, troubleshooting, and learning constantly. Constantly practicing and learning. And honestly, that's why most people won't stick with it, because it's easier to watch AI side hustle videos than to actually walk into business and offer solutions. But this leads into the most important shift of all. The people building real long-term income with Claude are usually not stopping at services. They eventually productize what they learn. And this is probably the smartest part of the entire model. Every client project teaches you something reusable. Maybe you build a workflow, a template, a dashboard system, or an automation process. So instead of rebuilding everything from scratch forever, you slowly turn repeated solutions into products. And that's how service businesses evolve into scalable businesses. For example, maybe you help 5 real estate agencies organize leads with Claude-powered systems. Eventually, you notice the same patterns repeating. Now, instead of selling only custom work, you package the framework into a reusable product for future clients. And this is how a lot of successful SaaS products actually begin. Not from random startup ideas, but from solving repeated client problems manually first. That's why experience is so important. And honestly, this is where AI tools like Claude become extremely powerful. They dramatically reduce the cost and time required to build these systems. Now, realistically, this entire process takes time. That's another thing people online don't want to admit. Most sustainable businesses take months before they feel stable. You'll probably spend weeks learning tools, weeks understanding business problems, and months improving your systems. But the upside is that these are real business skills. You're not just farming tiny rewards or chasing algorithm views. You're learning how businesses operate and how to solve operational problems. And businesses will always pay for that. So, if I had to summarize the real opportunity with Claude, it's this. Claude itself is not the business. The business is helping people solve expensive problems faster than before. And that's the pattern behind almost every serious AI business right now. Not some flashy prompts, not easy money, not overnight automation, just solving real problems in ways that save people time, money, or stress. And honestly, that's probably why most people will never do it, because the work itself is often uncomfortable. You will have to do a lot of things. You will have to reach out, you will have to talk to businesses, learn some messy systems, and charge some prices that feel intimidating. And you have to stick with it long enough to improve. But that discomfort is usually exactly where the money is.